Hey guys, I'm back with another reading video and I want to talk about becoming the character. When you watch a movie and when I watch a movie, we laugh at the funny parts and we cry at the sad parts. And when it's scary, we might hide under our blanket. Or when the character's laughing, we laugh. And when the character is sad, we're sad. Sometimes we feel like we're in the movie. And sometimes we feel like we're one of the characters. When you read, you don't only get to know about the character, a lot of times you get to know them so well that you become the character. And when you go on these reading adventures, you don't just follow what they do, you become part of the story and maybe even become the character. And you can change your voice to show what the character's feeling. And you can bring the character to life. Your body can show it when you're reading. Your voice can show it. And you have to study the pictures and use what the characters say and what they do to think about how the character is feeling. And then you can reread to match your voice to the feeling. So sometimes we have to read the story first and figure out, how are they feeling? Let me think about what they do and what they're saying and how are they feeling. Then I can go back and reread and become the character. So if you look at chapter 2, The Team, when Mr. Putter found his mitt, he was excited. So he told Tabby, now all we have to do now all we need is a team, he told Tabby. He was excited. Mr. Putter called his friend and neighbor, Mrs. Teaberry. Look, and I can see that he's smiling. That tells me that's a clue. Now on the next page, Mrs. Teaberry would know about a team. She was very sporty. She even walked the dogathon with her good dog, Zeke. So now Mrs. Teaberry got excited. And I see an exclamation point. So that tells me she's excited too. I can see a smile on her face. She said, of course there's a team, said Miss Teaberry. It's called the Yankee Doodle Dandies. Now, Mr. Putter, I need to think about what he said here. He said, am I too old to play? So he's kind of a little uncertain. He's kind of not sure if he could play. So he's not going to say, am I too old to play? No, he's not going to say it like that. He's going to say, am I too old to play? Like he's uncertain, asked Mr. Putter. But Mrs. Teaberry's trying to cheer him up, so she says, heavens no, said Mrs. Teaberry, handing Zeke a sniffy bone. You will feel young on this team. She's trying to make him feel better, so she's not going to be talking in a sad voice. And then look at Mr. Putter's face. He's not happy. He's a little uncertain. He doesn't know what to think. Look at his eyes. He says, will my knees feel young on that team? Asked Mr. Putter. But Mrs. Teaberry, look at her face. She's happy and she knows. She's confident. You are not too old and neither am I, said Mrs. Teaberry. We'll both play. Mr. Putter hung up the phone. And he looks a little happier after what Mrs. Teaberry said, but he's still a little unsure because he says to Tabby, I hope I'm not too old, he said to Tabby. Tabby just purred. To her, Mr. Putter was perfect. So he's telling like a secret to Tabby because he's so close with Tabby. And so he says, I hope I'm not too old. He feels a little bit better, but he's still unsure. So you have to think about what's going on in the story and what's happening and how the characters are going to feel about that and how they would talk. And I want you to start using more words, like I use the word confident. I use the word uncertain. I want you to start using more words than just sad or happy. You might use the words nervous or worried, like Mr. Putter was worried. I think I used that word. Angry, surprised, excited, embarrassed. Start using more accurate words to describe the character instead of just happy, sad, and mad. Go under the reading tools and I have some character trait charts for you that you can look at, and it has some other words that you can use that really describe the characters better than just using those easy words of happy, mad, and sad, okay? So think about that. Maybe you'll print out your character trait chart and keep it next to you and stop and think about words that you can use to describe the characters. And don't forget, you can think about what they say and what they do, what's happening in the story, and then you can go back and reread and make your voice match the feeling, match how they would talk, okay? And I'll see you next time.